Hey creative gamers, Mark here, and recently I went and checked out my first video game swap meet. These swap meets are opportunities for gamers and collectors to buy, sell, and trade everything to do with video games, from the games themselves, to consoles, to accessories, to memorabilia, and more.
I took a few things with me for potential trading that I thought would be popular or I had duplicates of, including an Atari 2600, GameCube, PlayStation Portable, and my rarest, most valuable game, Cubivore, just in case.
I really didn't know what to expect going in, but I was definitely pleasantly surprised. Let's check it out.
Alright, well, we're on our way to St. Cloud for the video game swap meet. It is about an hour's drive from our home city of Minneapolis to the north. It's obviously a cool rainy day this spring, so hopefully the weather doesn't affect the attendance at the event, but we'll see.
So right away when we arrived, I was surprised at the number of tables set up and the number of attendees. There were tons of retro and new games for trade or purchase, from the Atari 2600 up to the Nintendo Switch. Almost right away I noticed something I was hoping I would find.
I actually just picked up a Sega Saturn, traded it for a Nintendo GameCube. This is pretty exciting. I've been looking for one of these for a while. It came with one controller and the necessary hookups, so we'll see.
It's almost overwhelming how many games there are. Super Nintendo is definitely one of, if not the most popular, and I found Mega Man X3, which I had as a kid but traded long before it was valuable. Lufia 2 is one I've always wanted to try. Lots of Mega Man stuff that was tempting, but these are just so rare I couldn't justify the price tags. I had the opportunity to meet one of the organizers, Brad, who shared some information about the swap meet.
So we do have the St. Cloud one we do run. I'm also part of a Rochester group that we do swap meets down there. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we haven't done any within the past year and a half, something like that.
Right.
This is our fourth event that we've held. Between now and the first time, we've seen more and more people come game-wise. We've had quite a few awesome rare games come through. We've seen quite a few Earthbounds, Neo Geo games, Chrono Triggers, stuff like that. For myself, I would say to finish off my PS2 collection, I'm sitting at about 250 games.
Then Brad introduced me to Cody, an active GameCube collector who was very interested in something that I brought along with me.
Well, I just sold Cubivore to a happy new owner, Cody, here. Cody, how long have you been looking for a Cubivore for?
About a year.
About a year?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just super happy to get this a new home. I got Cubivore complete here with the original inserts, instruction manual, and even the original receipt.
Yeah, we got this one owner game here.
Yep.
That's about as rare as they come.
Purchased directly from Atlas at the time it had been released. The one owner game. So I hope you cherish this, man. It's a pleasure. I'm happy to see it go to a new
Dude,
home.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, dude, thank you, man.
I'm sad to see Cubivore go, since I bought it when it was new directly from Atlas with lawn mowing money. It's very nostalgic. But I'm not playing it or even displaying it because of its value, so I'm happy knowing it's going to a good home. After some rummaging, I met Benny James, who was demoing a new game that he's developing.
I make games for Mr. Hexagon, which is on Twitter, @Mr. Hexagon. Here's the address to get this game. I've been working on this game since the beginning of COVID lockdown. It's called Death Factor 2. So right now, this is literally the first public release of this. Is the VFW right now. It's like a special edition.
The world premiere right
Yeah, world premiere, St. Cloud premiere.
Yeah.
Launch it online. I'm using Gumroad, but we're working on getting Steam. We're working on getting it on Nintendo and Switch. And we're also working on getting it on Android. The crowd I want to go for is retro crowd.
Right.
So when I was designing it, I designed it on a CRT monitor, 800
Right.
by 600, old-fashioned, as old as you can go. It's got about 3 hours of gameplay. It's got an actress from Hollywood. She's got an IMDb. Her name is Jeannie Ryan. She did an amazing job. The story gets kind of dark. It gets kind of sad in the middle. It's got real death metal from South America, about 20 different bands. So that's what the game is. It's a meditation on death in all the different forms. The arcade game.
So those were some of the highlights from my first video game swap meet. Better late than never, I did of course trade and pick up a few things that I'll show you now.
I'm so excited to finally have a Sega Saturn and start collecting for that. There were a few games at the event too, most of which I passed on due to their cost, but I did grab a couple. This Nights into Dreams sampler came with the Saturn. I played the crap out of the re-release on PlayStation 3 and will be keeping an eye out for the original Saturn release and 3D controller since the sampler only has 2 stages. Panzer Dragoon 2 was the game I treated myself with. It's the most I've ever spent on one game, but there are no re-releases or other ways to play it besides the original game, and I justified it by finding a fair deal and convinced myself it was a reinvestment of some of the Cubivore sale. Besides those, I picked up Fighting Vipers and NASCAR 98. I don't play many racing sims or fighting games, but they were cheap and I needed something to play on my new Saturn. Let me know if you want to see more Saturn content because I love this thing. Picked up this PS3 console box since my PS3 was used and didn't come with a box. I've heard a lot of good things about Illusion of Gaia and found it for a good price, so I'm excited to give that a try. Grabbed a couple PS1 games, including the original Grand Theft Auto, so I can see how the series started. I'm a big Q*bert fan, so when I saw this PS1 Q*bert game for just a couple bucks, I knew I had to try it. My high score in the arcade original is 166,360, but I've never been able to get past stage 7-1 because the block colors are so similar I can't tell them apart. And finally, I picked up Donkey Kong Land 2 for Game Boy. Donkey Kong Country 2 is one of my all-time favorites, so if anything, it'll be interesting to see how it translated to ye olde Game Boy.
So attending the swap meet, meeting other like-minded gamers, and seeing all the old retro games was all a blast, and I will definitely be going back to the next one at the St. Cloud VFW on July 17th. Probably even going to set up my own table, so maybe I'll see you there.
If you're interested in learning more or attending, check out the links in the description below. I hope you'll join the creative community for more video game collecting content by subscribing to Creative Games, and check out Creative Games on Instagram and Twitch as well. Remember to spice up your life with a variety of games, and we'll see you next time.